In Exodus story, we see that Pharaoh is starting to put some harsh rules and conditions on the Israelites. There's a tension amongst the Israelites. For 400 years, they were having a great time in Egypt. They were the top dogs. But now they were too good, and Pharaoh was like getting scared. And we see in this time, Moses, a man named Moses, is born. In Exodus 2, we see that his family had put him in a basket to save his life. And of all people, Pharaoh's daughter finds him on the river. And she looks at him and he finds favor in her sight. And she calls him an interesting name. She said, "His name will be Moses, for I drew him out of the water." You see, the name of Moses means to be drawn out. Now, why is this important? Well, the life of Moses was not ordinary, especially from the perspective of an Israelite. The Israelites didn't like Moses because Moses, he grew up in the king's house. He didn't suffer with the Israelites. And then once he grew up, he ran away. He ran away for his life. Now, Moses didn't plan to run away, but the circumstances caused him to run away. And so for the rest of his life, he spent outside of the land of Egypt. And he was living his best life as a farmer, working for his father-in-law. He had a wifey, he had kids. He was living his best life. While the Israelites, his people, are suffering in Egypt. Now, what makes this interesting is that Moses' calling was to be the deliverer of the Israelites. So the lesson I learned from reading this part of the story is that God will call us out of the very situations He desires us to go back and to rescue others out of. God, when we have been anointed for a task, oftentimes the people we are called to help and deliver, they will look at us down because we can't relate physically with their suffering. And it's for a reason. God wanted to display His power and His might through Moses. Moses was a carrier and a deliverer of God's amazing grace and God's power. And that was how Moses, not only was he called out, but that's how he called the people of Israel out of their suffering, out of the wilderness and into the promised land, and fulfilled his calling in that way. And so too, I pray that God will call you out, and not just call you out, but that He will bring you back to call others out of their suffering, whatever it might be, so that He might be glorified through you.